During the long months of COVID lockdowns, life had a strange rhythm to it. Every day felt the same, quiet, empty, and confined. People were tired of staying inside. We had all watched too many shows, scrolled endlessly through our phones, and grown restless. I was single at the time, and like so many others, I was stuck at home with nothing but Tinder and Instagram to pass the hours. One night, while swiping and messaging, I struck up a conversation with someone I already knew, someone I had been following on Instagram for years. Her name was Sophia, though online she went by Soph. We both lived in Suffolk County, on Long Island, New York. It wasn't far from the Hamptons, and only about an hour from Montauk. She lived just a few minutes from me, which made things convenient. We were both restless, bored, and craving something different. After a short exchange of messages, we decided to meet up. With the lockdown rules hanging over everyone's head, there wasn't much to do, so we settled on going for a drive. That night I picked her up, and we ended up at a closed park nearby. The gates were shut, but that didn't stop us. We parked, climbed over, and sat around drinking White Claws. Right away, I could tell she had a rebellious streak. She wasn't afraid to trespass or bend the rules. That kind of confidence was contagious. It gave the night a reckless energy, and within an hour, she came up with an idea that would set the course for the strangest and most unsettling night of my life. "Let's drive out to Montauk," she said. "We can walk the cliffs near the lighthouse." It was late, and I knew the lighthouse grounds were supposed to be closed past sunset. They may have even been closed entirely during the lockdown, but the idea of sneaking around at night, exploring something off-limits, was exciting. Without hesitation, I agreed. We finished our drinks, got back in the car, and started the long drive east. When we finally arrived at Montauk Point, she told me to just park in the main lot of the lighthouse. At first, I hesitated. The place was clearly closed, and I kept scanning for security cars. But she reassured me that she had done this before, even before the pandemic. The lot was completely empty, and the area was silent. That gave me enough confidence to stay. We cracked open another drink, and sat for a while in the car. I kept nervously glancing around, but she just laughed and told me to relax. Eventually, we started walking toward the lighthouse. At night, up close, the sight of a lighthouse is surreal. The giant tower against the black sky, the beam of light slowly rotating, and the sound of waves crashing somewhere below. It all felt eerie and almost dreamlike. There's something liminal about it, something caught between beautiful and unsettling. Soph led the way, avoiding the main entrance so we wouldn't draw attention to ourselves. She guided us down toward the back cliffs, where a rocky trail called the Cliff Walk runs along the water. We used our phone flashlights to see. Normally there might have been lights on, but that night almost everything was dark, except for a few lamps near the entrance, and, of course, the sweeping glow of the lighthouse itself. As we picked our way along the rocks, being careful with every step, I heard her call my name. I turned, and she was pointing her light behind us. That's when I saw him. There was a man standing on the rocks, not far from where we had just walked. He wore a dark coat with the hood pulled up, obscuring most of his face. With both our lights shining at him, we could make out that he was a black man, though his age was impossible to guess. He wasn't moving, just standing there, watching. I called over to him nervously, asking if he worked there. No response. He didn't move either. A pit formed in my stomach. I quickly followed up with, "We're going to leave." "Sorry." My main concern was that he was security and that we'd get in trouble. But then he finally spoke. "You all want to buy some Coke?" Relief should have washed over me, but it didn't. If anything, it made things worse. This wasn't security, it was just some stranger, out here in the dark, following us along the cliffs. My mind raced. Why was he here? Why was he trailing us? I quickly said, "No man, we're good," and motioned for Soph to move forward. I let her go in front of me, and we pressed on, but the stranger started walking too. He didn't say anything else, didn't push his offer, didn't try to catch up. Instead, he just kept pace with us, the same distance away no matter how fast or slow we went. Every time I glanced back with my light, he was there, matching us. It was one of the most unnerving feelings I've ever had, knowing someone was there, choosing to follow silently. We finally reached the end of the cliff walk and hurried up through the grass toward the parking lot. The whole time, he stayed behind us, his footsteps faint but steady. At one point, he called out again. I couldn't make out the words perfectly, but it sounded like, "Where are you going?" His voice carried through the dark, and my pulse quickened. This wasn't some harmless wanderer. He was looking for trouble. I told Soph not to respond, and we walked quickly but not quite running. Running might provoke him. But as we approached the car, things got worse. Out of the darkness, 2 more men appeared. They were coming from behind us at an angle, closing in. Suddenly, it wasn't just one stranger following us, it was 3. Fear gripped me. I didn't want to panic, but I knew this had turned dangerous. We reached the car, climbed in, and immediately locked the doors. Both of us screamed when we realized the men had rushed up right behind us. Within seconds, 2 of them were yanking at the handles, trying to open the doors. I jammed the car into reverse, the only direction that wouldn't risk hitting them, and floored it. As I backed out, they kicked and slammed their fists against the car. The sounds of their hands hitting the metal echoed through the empty lot. For a moment, I was sure they'd break the glass. But as soon as the car was moving, they stopped. They didn't chase us. They just stood there in the dark, watching as we sped away. On the long ride home, the adrenaline still pulsed in my veins. Neither of us said much. The tension hung heavy between us, the silence almost louder than words. When I finally dropped her off, we both sat for a moment, knowing we'd just escaped something that could have ended very badly. In the weeks that followed, Soph and I hung out again. We grew closer after that night, and we still keep in touch. But the memory of Montauk Point lingers. The image of those men closing in, the sound of the doors being pulled, the sickening thuds of fists against the car, it all comes back to me sometimes. My friends say it was probably a gang, maybe the Crips, looking for easy targets. I don't know for sure. All I know is that we were lucky. That night taught me something. Adventure and recklessness can be thrilling, but they can also cross a line into danger before you even realize it. The Montauk Lighthouse is beautiful, historic, even romantic in the right light. But for me, it will always carry that edge of fear. I have no desire to go back there at night again, because once you've seen the darkness move, once you've felt strangers closing in, once you've realized how close you came to something terrible, don't forget it.